So I was called out again. And I didn't see it because the person making a video about me preemptively blocked me ahead of time. Again. But one of my followers sent me this message. Occasionally, I will respond to videos about me. Because if they are right and I need to issue a correction, that benefits you. If I don't think they are right, maybe the discussion also benefits you. Win-win. It's of course true that having more body fat is linked with numerous health conditions, and losing weight can often improve many health markers. Let's park that. We agree. But the counterpoint is having this knowledge can cause an internal bias where all other problems get overlooked.
The irony about talking about weight stigma while also perpetuating weight stigma.
Remember that.
We can't argue that we have fatness that is linked to health conditions. We know this, but the key is linked. We are talking about a correlation, and a correlation means that we don't actually know how that is happening, but we can assume and make some general assumptions about that.
Important topic. Most of my followers have probably already seen me talk about this, but to be safe. If you study vast populations of people, those who weigh a lot and those who weigh a little do often tend to die younger. You will commonly see a U-shape or J-shape mortality graph. Both extreme ends of the BMI spectrum have an elevated risk. This is a correlation, so that's true. It is very difficult to prove what caused a lot of people to die. Most people automatically assume that it is their weight, but I don't assume that. Maybe it's their diet, or their exercise history. Do they smoke? Are they in a different income bracket? Is it 1,000,001 other things that statistical analyses often try to control for? It's of course true that having more body fat is linked with numerous health conditions. But that's what I said. Linked. The only way this video would be some kind of gotcha at me is if I said caused and then showed a load of research which wasn't equipped to examine causes. But I didn't. If this creator hadn't preemptively blocked me and spent just a smidge more time looking at some of my other content, they would know that I talk about this a lot. It is in the very first chapter of my book. Here I am on stage talking about why you can't assess health based on body weight alone, and why we need to look at individual lifestyle factors, and even why we should focus on health and not body weight in isolation. Ideally, the person calling me out would have at least read the research that I put on the screen. Because if they had, they would know that there is also research that looks at causal relationships, like this one looking at cardiovascular outcomes, and this one looking at insulin resistance, and this one looking at mortality. I won't lie, I find this particular video a little bit frustrating. My original video was talking about weight discrimination. And if you have followed me for a while, you know that I work very hard putting out a lot of content on similar topics. But because I dared showed you some of the research that concludes body weight and body fat do still have some impact on your health, I occasionally get called out by more hardcore anti-diet folk. My lovely follower who sent me this message also sent me these comments. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing pretending to be a fat ally when he isn't. I don't love character attacks. A wolf? I am not very vicious. And I am very honest with you about my motives, 'cause I am very lean. And unfortunately, that means more people are going to listen to my message than if my incredible, amazingly hardworking sister said exactly the same thing. I care about this topic a lot, and I can help use my platform to amplify it to a larger audience of people, who are often less inclined to listen to those people who are most likely to be victims of it. He is still a skinny white man mansplaining. Even our mutual follower said this sounds a little bit body-shamey. He is absolutely selling intentional weight loss. Honestly, not as much as you would think. Many of you follow me because you are interested in weight loss science. So I make objective educational content to help you as my metaphorical clients. But I use this as a vehicle to discuss often neglected topics. If you read this book and think, actually, I've realized I don't want to strive for weight loss at all, I just want to focus on my health without worrying about how much I weigh, then that is fucking brilliant. So yeah, I am happy for people to correct me if I make a mistake. Honestly, that benefits you as well. But I would prefer it if they didn't misrepresent the research to you. And perhaps most importantly, from a selfish perspective, misrepresent my character as well.